The Montane Forest Project at Ngelyaki is working towards the rejuvenation of one of Nigeria's rarest ecosystems.
Started the project, which was way back in 2003. We used to camp, and we had little tents, and we camped just down the hill here, and our kitchen was just in here. Yes, so we cleared a little area here, and we had a bench and a table, and that was our kitchen, and it was our office.
Each morning, Dr. Hazel and a team of researchers head out into the forest.
And the trees are coming back. And this is because we have fenced off the grassland. So for 4 years now, there's been no burning.
Once a prime montane forest, providing an island of natural protection from the often rare species that have adapted to its near-temperate climate, Ngelyaki has been seriously degraded by unsustainable human practices. The aim of Dr. Hazel's project is to help the forest ecosystem recover through propagating species that are local to the forest to achieve natural regeneration. This nursery uses seeds from the forest to develop seedlings for replanting. To achieve a near-natural regeneration without upsetting the harmony of nature, the researchers must first solve a riddle.
Okay, the carapa is a tree species that is found in Ngelyaki forest, and the tree species produces a huge fruit, and the fruit are usually big in size, and generally flowering tree species in the tropical forest produces fleshy fruits that are adapted for dispersal by animals. Now, carapa being one of the tree species, a flowering plant that produces large fruits. Initially, the fruits are known to be dispersed by elephants. Now that the elephants are no longer here, we find it difficult to understand what is exactly dispersing these fruits. Now, we now later decided to look at the actual animals that are charged with the responsibility of dispersing the seeds of carapa, being a large fruit, which cannot be consumed by smaller animals simply because of the size of their mouth. Now, after the maturity of the fruit, when it falls down, what happened to the fruit on the ground? So we are here to look at the real animals that are making the dispersal of this tree in order to find a situation where these plants can be regenerated in the forest.
So these are carapa seeds. And we put them down because we want to see if the rats are eating the seeds.
And have you found anything now?
Yes, we put these out last night, and there's definitely been a rat. You can see here that the seeds have been eaten. Babali has found that there are several different species of rodents that take the seed. He has set up cameras and with night vision, and so he knows what they are. And there are squirrels, there are mice, there are porcupine, yes. And there are these hero rats. And hero rats are the most important. And why they are so important is because they have big cheek pouches, and they can store many seed in their cheeks. And then they run away to somewhere different, as Babli has explained, with the seed in their cheeks, and then deposit it.
Forensic science is helping out to unlock these mysteries of nature.
DNA
All the
technology
team has to do is to pick and
understand
gather the
which
clues.
rodents are moving the seed in the forest. And so later today we will collect the seed that has been eaten and we will swab it for and keep it in a buffer, take it to New Zealand, and it will be analysed for rodent DNA.
To specify which of the rodents are taking this thing.
Okay.
So by the time it has been specified, we will now study how these rodents can be propagated.
We're looking here at a seed trap.
Simple devices
And
such as
in
this
all,
are
we
also
have 5 areas
employed.
that we have fenced off, and within each of the areas we have 30 seed traps. And the idea is that seed that is carried by birds or by wind, they fall into the traps. Once a week, Usman, a field assistant, collects all the seed from each of the traps. We have been doing this now for over 5 years, and we have a very good information about what seed is falling into these fenced off areas. And this will help us understand how the forest regenerates.
The researchers comb the forest daily. In Nigeria, montane forests with their near-temperate climate are only found on the Mambila and Obudu plateaus. Given the contrast between them and the tropical plains, they hold a good number of species that often differ dramatically with those of the plains.
Well, all these small
Birds,
riverine
for example,
forests
reflect
are very
this
important
situation.
for birds. This area is an important bird area, so internationally it is known for its bird life. And in these fragments there are birds that are only found on Mambila, in Gashaka Gumti in the mountains, and some of them in Cameroon as well, in the mountains.
The forested valleys of Ngelyaki are home to thousands of tree
different types of
species.
fruits, different types of seeds, and of course, different barks and different roots. These are the things that produce the African traditional medicine. But the knowledge of these medicines belong only to those who know them. But who knows that future research is likely to reveal hundreds of thousands of different tree and plant species here that may hold great promises for future medical research.
Some ecological enigmas are occasionally found here.
One type of flower is normal. It has male and female parts on the same flower. The other type of flower is different in that it has the male part, but the female part is very, very small and malfunctioning. And some individual trees are all hermaphrodite, and other trees are almost all effectively male, and other trees are 50-50. So we have been doing some work to find out why.
Take two. Ngelyaki forest is still a world undergoing discovery.
And there are many more waiting to be identified. And also in one day, an expert from Kansas State in the United States came. In one day he found a new frog species, and he's sure that there are many more. And as far as the insects go, there must be many insects that are new to science. So there is still lots of research to be done at Ngelyaki.
Researchers are discovering the attractive diversity of Ngelyaki.
From the United States, from New Zealand, from Australia, from many different countries coming to Ngelyaki and working with us and teaching our field assistants about their areas of interest.
How did it all begin?
Really all began
A question I pose to Dr. Hazel Chapman.
My father was a forest officer on Mambilla, and so as a family we lived in Gembu and then in Ngoroji. And with my father in the school holidays, I trekked all around Mambilla, and one of the places that we came to was Ngelyaki Forest, where Dad was working. Then in 2000, I helped my father write a book about his work, because before that he'd only written reports on what he'd done. So with help from the WWF and DFID, we published a book on the forests of Taraba and Adamawa State. Having done that, I got really interested and wanted to come back and see what the forests were like nearly 30 years later. So with a group of people from my university in Canterbury in New Zealand, and also a team comprising NCF and Nigerian National Parks, we did a 50-day trek around the forests of Taraba State, up in the mountains of Gashka-Gumti National Park, down again, and eventually to Ngelyaki. And I thought then that Ngelyaki would be a great place to do research, because I'm a biologist. This is one of the major aims of this project. It is to restore Ngelyaki forest, and also through the research that we do at Ngelyaki to understand how to restore other montane forests in Gashka-Gumti National Park and much further abroad than that.
To enforce protection, Hazel has employed a number of eco-guards, some of them retired foresters. How will this project
look
like in the future?
The project is that in the future it will be stable in terms of funding. It will be run by the local people effectively. It will be something that is quite unique to Taraba State. It will allow students from Nigeria and internationally to be well trained in something very special, and they will be able to take the skills that they learn here anywhere they want in the world.
Ngelyaki may just be a tiny speck on the map, but a global giant in terms of its contribution to global climate change mitigation, as well as a custodian of a crucial natural resource with wider global importance. A planned natural regeneration of this conservation enclave will help save large numbers of endangered species.